Today on Let's Talk About It, we will discuss what is a valuable lesson in life that you have learned, and then we will have Typhani Russo joining us. Lately, I've been hearing the Spirit gently ask me, do you remember? The first time it caught me off guard. Do I remember? Well, yeah, I remember a lot. I also forget a lot too. Then I heard it again. Do you remember? I don't think it was until the third time on a different day that I finally paused and said, okay, Lord, I am listening. Instantly, I was reminded of a season when I had walked away from living fully for Him. I found myself across the world in Australia, living for myself. It was fun, short-lived, an adventure of one, but it left me surprisingly empty. I woke up pretty quickly. I found a church filled with the Holy Spirit, and I rededicated my life and have been pursuing the Lord ever since. I remember the time I moved away from my family and felt so alone and homesick, and how the Lord met me there. He wrapped me in His love. I remember grieving the loss of my sweet brother and how the Lord stayed close. He even gave me a song to sing when I didn't have my words, or my own words, that carried me through. I remember the seasons when life felt unbearably hard, when nothing anyone could say would help, but He did. I remember how He blessed me with a man who is crazy about Jesus and 4 pretty amazing children. And I'm here to encourage you just to stop for a minute and remember. Revisit what God has done. Recall who He has been to you. Let it lift your spirit as you reflect on His faithfulness and goodness. So often, without even realizing it, we dwell on the negative, and those things are just so unhelpful. So today, I challenge you to intentionally remember what God has done and choose to dwell on His faithfulness. As it says in John 14:26, but the Helper, the Holy Spirit, who will teach you all things and bring to your remembrance all things that I said to you. He is still reminding us. The question is, will we pause long enough to remember? We are just 3 ladies, all with big opinions, always backed by a biblical standpoint. Let's talk about it.
This segment is brought to you by Harry's Construction, whose motto is, if you can dream it, we can create it. They are the kitchen and bath design experts, so call Harry's Construction for all your remodeling needs.
Welcome back, ladies, and today's topic is a really great one. The question I have for you is, what is a valuable life lesson that you have learned? We're just going to start with that.
Well, I'll start because I will. No, I'm just kidding. So years ago, many years ago, we owned a house in Oak Hill, West Virginia, and we wanted to refinance that house. And we couldn't. Like, every door we tried to open, we could not refinance that house. And we wouldn't let it die. We just kept, we kicked the door down. We kicked the door down and we refinanced the house. And maybe a couple months later, John got promoted and we were to move to North Carolina, and the government came in and they buy your house at market value and you can actually make money, right? Yeah. Well, because we refinanced the house and cashed out, we couldn't, they wouldn't even buy it back from us. So we had to sell it on our own, which was not good. Okay, so my point in all that is to say that no is an answer, people. No is an answer. We prayed about it, the door kept closing, and finally the Lord was like, okay, whatever. And He allowed it to happen, and it almost sunk us. And it made me think, I was talking to my coworker this morning, and I thought this was a great analogy of what happened to us. Balaam and Balak. Balaam was asked to meet Balak, and the Lord told him not to go, and he gets on that donkey and he goes, and then the donkey stops in the road and refuses to move. You know the story. Well, Balak talks to God, and he asks him 3 times, and the Lord tells him, don't go.
Right.
And he asked him 3 times. Finally, the Lord is like, okay, fine, go.
Right.
Well, it ends up down the road badly. It ends up badly for Balak. But the Lord just released him to go because he let him go. And I just think about that's what happened to us. We asked, and God said no. We asked again, he said no. We asked again, he said no. And finally he's like, okay, fine, go. And then it ended badly for me. So my lesson is no is an answer.
Yeah.
That's great.
No is an answer.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's a really hard lesson to learn.
Very hard. But we were
if you can
young.
learn
and-
it.
But if you can learn it
Yeah.
and young, I'm
Yeah.
sure it's shaped a lot of your decisions
Yeah.
that you've
The
made
older
since.
I get,
Yeah.
the more my hindsight is so much better.
Yeah.
I didn't even learn that right away. It's my hindsight that allows me to see it today for what it really was.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's really great. That's good.
Yep.
How about you, Kelly?
So my lesson is that God wastes nothing. And what I mean by that is when I went through my 7 years of trying to have a second child, the last 3.5 years, I really rededicated my life over to him. And it's not that in those 3 years he finally gave me a baby, but it was in those 3 years that I refocused who my eyes were on, and my eyes went back to him. And my time in the Word grew, and my time in my prayer life grew, and all these things with him were growing because of my refocusing. And so it was still a dry land. It was still, me living in the desert, not having the answer that I wanted. But it was in those moments that I saw growth, that I saw God in ways that I had never seen him before, that I experienced things that I would go back to in this time if I could, because it was just me and him. And it was so amazing and so powerful. And so God wastes nothing. God wastes nothing. If you are willing to, with whatever season you're in, just get your eyes on him. He's going to give you something in that season. He's going to give you something. And all through that dry time, all through the unanswered, not having a positive pregnancy test, all through that time, I could have peace, and I could have joy, and I could have hope, knowing that he had me and he was going to get me where I needed to be. In the first 3.5 years of that looked so differently because I didn't have my eyes on him, and I had my eyes on me and my circumstances. So I would encourage anybody watching this. He doesn't waste anything. He uses it all. And he wants to get you where you need to be if you are willing to trust him and the process. And it's not a slow process. It's not a slow process. So can we be patient, and can we just trust that he's going to get us there, because he wastes nothing.
That's so good.
Yep.
Yeah, your heart's posture was shifted.
Yes,
So that's so good.
absolutely. How about you?
Yeah, so I was thinking, mine would be that one of my best friends from college, she loved the Lord with her whole heart and was a mom of 3. And she was diagnosed with cancer, and, I have talked about her a little bit, but it took over her whole body. And so towards the end of her life, she was still trying to be a mom. This is before she was bedridden. And she was still trying to be a mom, and she shared something with me it has changed my life. And she says, because I'm like, how are you doing? I didn't live close to her, so I'd have to make a 3.5-hour trip to go visit her. And I had multiple babies at the time, and she had 3 little babies. And so we tried our best to get together, get our kids together. I'd be like, how are you doing this? How are you? Because she would be folding laundry, and she'd still be making the healthiest foods I've ever seen. And she was incredible. And she said to me, that, I get to, Tracy, I get to. She said, I changed my whole entire life to the ability, or to the point of, I get to do this. I get to change their diapers even though I'm really sick. I get to make them dinner. And it rocked me to my core. And it is my perspective shifter at all times. Like, I can't tell you how many times I have been doing the mundane mom things that get old very fast and they get exhausting. And I hear her, I get emotional. I hear her and I'm like, you get to wash those dishes.
Right.
You get to fold their clothes. She doesn't. She's not here anymore. I get to drive my kids. Yeah, and so it always, like, it shakes me to my core, keeps me grounded, keeps me humble. But it's like it's become probably my life song, is like, I get to do this in this season, you know, and it's like a perspective shift.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for me, it shapes me, not only because those words are powerful coming from someone who's no longer here, but it also just keeps me like, this is all I ever wanted to do, was like have babies and be a mom, you know, and someday be a grandmom and, you know, all those things. But yeah, so I always tell people, like, you know, just ask the Lord to just speak to you in those moments when you're really tired and you feel like you want to complain. Shift your perspective till you get to do this. This is an honor. It's a joy. It should be your delight to do it. And so I'll be down in my basement at 11:30 folding laundry, and I'm like, I get to do this. And I seriously will smile. It will shift me that much.
Yeah.
That I'm like, I get to do this.
Yeah.
And so it helps, you know, silence the grumbling or like the complaining
Right.
that wants to take over in certain seasons or certain times.
Yeah. And all of these lessons that, you know, we're sharing, one thing that I've seen is then when you get past that point, when you overcome the hump or whatever it is, you know, and you see the lesson that you learned from it, you really need to remind yourself what you learned from it, because you can take it for granted, or you can just go back to living life and like, okay, well, now I got what I want. The answer's here. And we don't want to miss what God was teaching us in those moments. And that's why I wanted to share this question, is because I'm hoping that someone listens and is reminded of maybe a lesson that they were taught and forgot about, and remind yourself of what God did in that moment. Remind yourself, because we need to remember the things that God has brought us through and what he's teaching us in these lessons. That yes, sometimes the answer will be no, or nothing's wasted, or I get to do this.
And I find, like, in those times, like, I was thinking about your 3.5 years of desperation. Well, really it was 7, but like where your heart's posture changed. Like, those desperate times are actually times I often find myself longing for.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there was such an intimate between you and the Lord.
Yes.
It's like,
Absolutely.
there's nothing that replaces that, you know, and it is like, we so quickly forget, and then we live in this like bougie world of like getting quickly, you know, not always, not all the time, but like, it is important to go back. Actually, that's what I shared in my monologue was remember, take time to remember what God has done.
Yeah, and the lessons we're showing you.
Yes.
Pick them up and use them.
Right. Yeah. So thanks for sharing both of those. Well, those are some of our personal valuable lessons that we've learned in life. We hope they encourage you. We hope that you take some time to pause and remember what God has done, and use those valuable lessons to help shape your life. And when we come back, we will have our guest of the day.
Impact Productions, a multi-layer technology company providing on-site, online, and in-studio video services. Contact Impact Productions to capture your story.
Thanks for joining us today. We have a really great guest. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Absolutely. My name is Typhani Russo, and I'm a 5th grade ELA honors teacher at the Commonwealth Charter Academy, which is an all-virtual school. I finally made the switch over, and I love it. I'm also a cat mom of 3 rescued rugrats. I'm an avid cat lover. If I could save them all, I would. But I also run, and I founded, and I'm the CEO of the nonprofit Bookworms Against Bullies. And I recently discovered that I love to write and illustrate children's books.
This is amazing. Okay, so the organization is called?
Bookworms Against Bullies.
Okay, and just tell us, where did this come from, as you are the CEO, right,
Yes.
founder?
So like many students and kids and adults, unfortunately, bullying is an epidemic that is not getting any better. I was actually working at the Altoona Area Public Library as the Children's Services Supervisor, and I had this awesome idea that I wanted to create an after-school program geared towards kids who may feel like they don't have an outlet or anyone to talk to about bullying. So it started out as just an after-school program, 2018, and in 2022 I made it official. It is now a nonprofit through the Central Pennsylvania Community Foundation, and we've gotten bigger and better. I had the honor of winning the Next Star Remarkable Women last year. So surprised because, you know, Bookworms is just something small that I do on the side, but apparently it has a really big impact. So yeah, it's my pride and joy.
So what does the program itself look like? Like, what do you do with it?
Yes, so I offer a free book program, and I'm happy to report that we've given out over 1,000 books to local kids in the community.
That's awesome.
I do a lot of vendor events, and I put on 5 annual free parties or events for kids every year. So if you have young ones, please look out for those registration forms. One is a Strike Up the Fun bowling event. We have a splash park party, back to school event in August. We have a donut Be a Bully.
Oh, I'll be at that one.
I love
favorite Parlor Donuts. It's the best. So you'll have to sign up for that one in October. And yeah, so I've been adding events every year too. So we're getting bigger and better. And a lot of people, I even have people travel in from Johnstown now for my events. So yeah, it's getting a lot of recognition for sure.
And how would you connect reading and bullying? Like, how do you think those connect?
Yes. Well, I will say, when I was bullied throughout elementary, junior high, and high school, reading was my outlet from all of the bullying. So I want to connect that with kiddos, be like, reading, if you have nowhere else to turn, grab a book, immerse yourself into that world if you have no other place to go. And I also am a firm believer that literacy and reading books about diversity and will teach kids to be open-minded and more tolerant and accepting of others, and will lead to more kindness in the world for sure.
And we need that.
Yes,
Yes, we absolutely
need that.
Yeah.
So now you're teaching full-time virtually,
Yes.
and then this is what you do after.
It is
and in the
a
evenings
lot.
and the weekends?
Yes,
Okay.
and Bookworms is only my mom and I. We're like the dynamic duo. It's just her and I against the world. So without her, it would be extra hard to do everything that I'm doing. But it's, you know, on my lunch break, I'm working on Bookworm stuff. I do the Excel sheets, I keep the budget, maintain everything, I plan the events. I have a to-do list constantly, and my weekends are when I'm doing a lot of that planning as well. Or I'm at an event usually.
So like you said, you're going into a school tomorrow. How
Yes.
do you do that? Just on your lunch break, or do you
I had to take a half a day.
Okay. I was like, how do you do that?
I have to use, you know, personal days and take time off, but it's worth it. I like
So
doing
will
it.
you go and share about the bullying, or do you share about the books that you wrote, or are the books that you wrote including, you know, like the bullying?
I'm so glad you asked.
Okay.
Because, yes,
We want to see
I
these
want to
books.
see them. Yeah.
I do write and illustrate books. Backstory of how I even got started doing this: my dad passed away, and it was really hard because he was my best friend. So I had written a book in college. It was a mixed media project in art class, and he's like, you should really try to get that published. And I did, of course, and nothing came about. So when he passed away, I needed an outlet that was positive to, you know, deal with my grief. So he was my hockey buddy. We did all Pittsburgh Penguins things together. So I wrote this book. I redid the art project, and there's a little memorial to him in the back. So it's so precious to me.
So special.
And so everyone loved this. They're like, oh my gosh, you need to write and illustrate more books. So then, I'm a cat lady. This was our cat, Gizmo, we rescued from the Railroad Memorials Museum, downtown Altoona. This is a book series called The Adventures of Tiff and Tux. So I have 2 out.
That's really cute.
I am like,
Now, what's the
love
award
it.
on that one?
this, surprisingly.
It looks like it has
I know, so
The Book Fest, I won 3rd place in the Book Fest Awards. Again, like, I'm an amateur. Like, I don't do this professionally. So that was an accolade I was really excited about.
Yeah.
So this will be a series. And then to answer your question, this is my motto for my nonprofit: be a bookworm, not a bully. And I wrote a guide for kids on bullying and how to be more empathetic. And you're the first people to see this. You're the first
That's
ladies to see this
incredible.
book.
I would like to order that.
Yes,
Sure
I
thing.
love that. I'm
Yeah.
same, because I'm like, we need that in our school.
Yeah, so it has information about the nonprofit, and it's in, you know, simpler terms, because I feel like it starts at a young age and they need to learn, you know, empathy and kindness at a younger
Yes.
age too, to grow up with it.
Are your events only for like grade school, or are they, what's your age
Most
parameters?
of them are ages 5 through 12, but I am opening up the bullying event to ages 15. My goal is to create more events for high school kids. I do go into colleges to speak about bullying. I haven't done events for college age kids yet, but I do go in and do presentations and lectures and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, bullying is huge right now. I mean, for a while. But even just recently, I had a mom messaging, talking about her child being bullied and what can she do. And it's breaking the kid, like it's breaking the kid.
Yeah,
And just what steps to take and how to, and it's like the schools
right.
sadly are not offering the best
Right.
answers and doing the best that they can.
You are absolutely right. And I actually, I never really ever mentioned this, but I transferred high schools because the bullying was so bad. My senior year of high school. Yes, I ended up going to BG from Altoona because it was the first day of school. My bullies were in every class. I'm like, I can't do it, Mom. So I got in the car. The next day I was at BG. So I can totally relate.
Yeah, Altoona
It's heartbreaking to me.
It
Altoona's
is
bad.
Yeah, public schools in general have
Yeah,
gotten
public
very
school, yeah.
bad.
It's very bad.
And that's another reason why I made the switch to virtual teaching. Like all of my kids, I see them in Zoom every single day. I can meet them at activity days we have and field trips, which is really nice, but there's zero bullying. The kids can just learn and enjoy being at school without worrying about, you know, what may happen to them.
But it does also make me sad too, because then where are they getting the connection that is so needed too? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yes.
we want to take them out of the bullying situation, but I also know the need for connection.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
and that's
how
why
do you
it's-
build that bridge?
I guess that's important that they're involved in extracurriculars, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, whether it's
Hopefully
private
parents do that. If,
music classes
Right.
or,
Right.
I know growing up, I was part of something that was called like a peer mediation team in high
Yes.
school. And
Oh,
I really do wish
done
that
that.
schools would offer that, because they trained us as students to be peer mediators. And so I remember sitting in situations where there would be like 3 or 4 girls or 4, you know, and working
Right.
through it with them, but as a peer, there was a mentor also.
Right.
But I feel like it was really, really healthy. And then I also thought we did a ton of role playing, and I'm like, schools should teach, if they know how to respond with empathy and kindness,
Yes.
right? If people know how, then they would be convicted quite quickly. If
Right.
they were in a situation where that was going on, they would know how to handle it. But it's just something that's not even taught anymore. And then you add in the electronics, and behind the screen, people can just be these like
And say
big, ugly,
anything.
mean
Right.
humans. And then like at school, they're just like so fake to the face.
Right.
So it's really detrimental.
Yeah, social media has made it a lot worse, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, it's like the Wizard of Oz. Like they
Yeah,
hide
there's no
behind that
break.
screen.
You don't get a break. Even when you go home, you don't
Right.
get a
Right.
break.
Right, with the social
Yeah.
media aspect of it. Right, you don't get a break. It's constant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
So I
it
love
makes
what
me
you're
so
doing.
sad. I
Thank
do
you.
love. Yeah, I feel like you come from a place of understanding, so
Yes.
it compels you to be so
Right.
passionate about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And real, probably with the learners or the children.
Absolutely, yeah. And I do share my story so they can connect with me. I've had a few kids over the years reach out on Facebook with my Bookworms page saying, hey, like I need someone to talk to. I'm like, I'm all ears. Like, do you want somebody, do you want an adult to come with you? We can meet at, a local coffee shop, wherever they feel most comfortable with. But it's really heartbreaking. So as much as I can do, I'm there for the kiddos and whoever needs me.
When you go in and share, do you open it to questions?
I do,
And then
yes.
do you feel like that is a good?
Yeah,
lead
especially
way
in
for
the
questions?
college the classes that I do, they really open up to me. And I have had some kids stay after class and they were in tears with me. And it just, the fact that they feel so, that they can trust me and be so open and honest, it's just a really nice feeling. And I want to help them the best that I can.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your realness. Thank you for what you're doing. You're making a difference. And
I appreciate
we just
that.
encourage you to keep writing and drawing and
Yes.
publishing
I
your
will.
books. But we
Yeah.
are so thankful for Typhani coming to join us. And when we come back, we'll have our verse of the day.
Made by Vogel is a father and son business that produces high-quality handmade wooden products such as cutting boards, bowls, bottle stoppers and more. Products for sale can be found on their Etsy site or in downtown Altoona at the Clay Cup. You can't go wrong buying from Made by Vogel.
Next time on Let's Talk About It, we will meet Jesse Uhas. And then later we will discuss the 3 words that we think best describes us.
Testimonies on addiction recovery.
Okay.
So they were really into the art of the session, and we did photos of them like laying in water as if they were drowning, and then kind of turned it into a brighter, artsy feel of them like just dancing in a dress.
All that and more on Let's Talk About It.
Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Psalm 55:10, the Passion Translation reads, "Keep creating in me a clean heart. Fill me with pure thoughts and holy desires, ready to please you." I've always loved the song that echoes this verse. But just the other night, I had the kids in bed and I left feeling so guilty for getting so frustrated with one of my children. I stood in the hallway and I was like, go make it right, Tracy. So I went into their bedroom and apologized and asked for forgiveness. They immediately said they were sorry and also said, "We love you, good night." It took no longer than a few minutes to do that, and my heart felt clean and pure. When David prayed that prayer, he was asking God to do what only he can do, create a clean heart. But I'm realizing that part of keeping our hearts clean is responding when the Holy Spirit nudges us. When we've done something wrong, whether it be intentional or unintentional, we act, we repent, we make it right. So often we need to humble ourselves. So often we need to surrender something before coming to the Lord. So often repentance is the doorway, and I truly believe this. Repenting invites renewal. Renew a right spirit within me, that's restoration and realignment and bringing our spirit back into harmony with His. And sometimes it just starts with walking down the hallway to say, I am sorry. Until next time, let's talk about it.
Since 1929, my family has helped keep your family at home.
Ask for Dick's Home Care.
I don't allow my disability to stop me from living the life I choose. Dick's Home Care has provided me with everything I need to be mobile.
Don't let mobility challenges hold you back. Call today to learn how Dick's Home Care can empower you to live life on your own terms. Call the leader in home health care equipment, Dick's Home Care.